Karibuni sana. I can see your names are very, very well spread over here. All right. And my name is Dr. Aura, and I will be your teacher. I will be your teacher, yes, taking you through advanced financial management. So remember this advanced financial, or rather remember this advanced level of CPA has 4 compulsory papers. Which compulsory papers are these? Number 1, we have advanced management accounting. Number 2, we have advanced financial management. The compulsory papers, I'm writing them down. Compulsory papers, I'm writing them down. So we have compulsory papers. So compulsory papers at the advanced level, we have AFM, we have AMA, we have leadership and management. Then we have, in this case here, AFR. So these are compulsory papers. You must do all of them. But of course, there is the flexibility of you picking 3 at a time. For those of you who are very, very busy, please don't do 4 papers if you are very, very busy. Yeah, do 3 papers. CASNEB is not going anywhere. CASNEB is with us here for the longest time ever. So you can do 3. And then the other semester, whatever will be left here, you combine it with elective papers. Elective papers. So these are the ones that you have a choice to make. So the elective papers, there are 3. We have what we call advanced tax. We have advanced audit and assurance. And then we have, in this case here, advanced public finance. Public finance. Public finance. So in these elective papers, you get to choose just one. Just one. Just one. Would you want at this juncture, Mwalimu, to say which one is the best between the 3? How about the online students? Would you want me at this juncture to say which one between the 3 is the best? Great. Now, I run an audit firm myself by the name Aura and Co. By the name Aura and Co, based in Westlands, Havenscott. If you come to Havenscott, yeah, you will easily get us there, Havenscott. Now, with my experience, audit is one great subject that I normally recommend to students. Why? Because during your time, you can't get audit license if you will not have done this paper known as advanced what year? Audit and assurance. So for those of you who want to be auditors, yeah, then you have to do what we call audit and what year? Audit and assurance. Great, we forgot about you disappeared. Great, karibu sana. Yeah, and you have a neighbor now. Yeah, great. So then, for those of you who want to get later on a license to do audit outside here, it will be compulsory for you to do a course known as Advanced Audit and Assurance. Advanced Audit and Assurance, very, very important. But now what happens in practice? I want to be very, very practical with you. Ladies and gentlemen, if, for example, today you are to be taken to audit a firm like we are auditing currently, KMPDU, this for the medical doctors, it is our company that is auditing them. You see, these people will give you audit fees, which is normally annual. And they will give you something like, say, 400 or 500,000, which is a one-off figure for the whole year. Is that going to sustain a firm that has got, say, 30 members of staff? No. You would need to do what we call non-assurance services. And then an assurance service that sells very well is tax. When we get to audit these organizations, at the end of the day, you realize that they've got tax issues with the KRA. So again, ISPAC has put this thing on black and white. If you never did taxation, there is no way you'll be able to get a tax license. And the audit alone will not be able to sustain you. So the students who have been able to know this game quite early, they do what we call double specialization. It's allowed. So in this case, you'll be able to do both advanced tax and advanced what year? Audit. What if in this case here, for example, you do advanced audit today, you go ahead and clear your CPA, and then later on you realize, hey, I needed to have done advanced audit. Again, that is allowed. These elective papers, you can do them even much later. Talk of even 10 years after you have cleared your CPA qualification. So for those of you who are always in a hurry to finish these CPAs, you can say you're only going to do one elective today, then you finish the entire CPA, then later on, you come to do the other elective, because whether you like it or not, an accountant, currently you have to be an all-rounder, even in terms of employment. I would want to employ an accountant who is good, versatile in terms of tax matters, and this accountant is good in terms of audit, especially when we'll be rising to these senior levels. So after you finish this elective paper, now you go to what we call the exit paper. The exit paper is the BDA, Business Data Analytics. BDA is Business Data Analytics, Business Data Analytics. So basically under BDA, you'll be doing everything in these papers, but this time around, the exam is computerized, and this exam is Excel-based. So you'll be able to do financial reporting, but now in terms of what you Excel. You'll be able to do management accounting, but in terms of Excel. So I think I've been able to handle the question you told me to handle, which was to explain how the structure of this is. And of course, after clearing BDA, it is not yet over. You don't become a member of ISPAC. After you finish BDA, you will have to give us the experience. Yeah, you must be experienced for you to become a member of ISPAC. So you have to fill what we call an experience form. That is if you are working. For those who are not working, you must go to CASNEB and do what we call a simulation exam, where they give you like, these are the list of transactions, enter them through QuickBooks, give us a trial balance, income statement, we have statement of financial position, we have statement of changes in equity, we have statement of cash flows, and notes to the accounts. So once you do that, you'll only do what we call the ethics module, which is an online exam you do 1 hour, and then now you become a member of ISPAC upon payment their annual fees of about 27,000 at entry, and then every year you'll be paying 10,000. So I think now I've given that question justice. Go to something that is different. How will you be able to share that course outline with this lady? I would want you to share the course outline. If she can share your, you can give her your number. Great. All right. Any other question, you great ninjas who are online? Any other question before I start introducing? Experience is for how many years? Minimum 2 years. And please, the earlier you start looking for this experience, the better. So to experience, now we are attaching them at our firm, especially the students who have been financed by 𝗕𝗲𝘀. The 𝗕𝗲𝘀 finance students, the ones who have been paid their fees by 𝗕𝗲𝘀. Yeah, we're giving them attachments at our undercover because it's important. You'll get somebody who's doing advanced level, ask them in this case here anything about trial balance, they are not able to do. Tell them in this case here to put up an income statement, they are not able to do. And you can't blame them. They have only been reading to pass exams. Now they've been able to pass exams, but out there in practice, you'll be expected to be very good in terms of industry qualifications. All right. All right. Yeah, those who are already working, good question. You only fill an experience form where you demonstrate that for sure you are good in those technical areas. You are good in technical. If you're working, that is in a relevant role. If you're in a relevant role, then that is good. Can you do advanced tax? Can you do advanced tax? I don't want to skip any question. Yeah, ODEC, that's a very, very serious question. There are students who never did taxation at the intermediate level. So if you never did taxation at the intermediate level, not a problem. They will still allow you to do advanced tax. But you see now you'll have to go a notch higher. You must do quite a lot. You have to do quite a lot. You must do quite a lot. Yeah. Thank you. Credit control is not a relevant role, unfortunately. It's not a relevant role, unfortunately. So you will have to work with our audit firm. You don't have a choice. You to get that experience from our audit firm. But that we can talk about that later. So then, with your permission, have you gotten the course outline? Great. So I want us to open this course outline now. We go through it. I want us to open this course outline. We go through it, all of us. So this course outline, I will be able to attach it here for the online students. You pick it. And then most importantly, get to, most importantly, you print the areas that you think, or rather, which are relevant to us. So the online students, could you kindly confirm that now you are able to see the syllabus that I've shared with you? It is the entire CPA syllabus, including FA, those lower level papers, all right? But I'm interested in advanced financial management. The relevant roles, Julius, we are looking at any role, for example, if you are in accounting department, finance department, you are a bookkeeper, for example, then that's a relevant role. You are an auditor, that's a relevant role. That's a relevant role. But you haven't yet told me whether you have seen some document that I've shared with you, ninjas. I normally call my students ninjas. So now, sijui kama wasichana tuseme ni ninjare. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. So if you have been able to see that, advanced financial management is on page number, advanced financial management, advanced financial management, advanced financial management is on page number 54. Page number 54. Advanced financial management is on page number 54. Advanced financial management is on page number 54. So is there anybody who has been able to reach that particular page? It's paper number 15. And by the way, you haven't told me, of course, before you joined this college and before you came to this level, there must be Evo paper. Yeah, thanks H&R. So in this case here, in terms of content, especially for AFM, the same thing. The same thing. No much changes, but I'll be able to pull that one and then I share it here. Yeah, great. So then I'll be able to share here. All right. All right. So control find. Mine is beautiful. But you haven't told me, those evil people outside there, what have they told you about AFM? Have they told you that this is a very, very sweet paper? Because somebody must have guided you, right? What have they told you about AFM? Please be honest with me. Don't tell me that you never asked. I'm so sure somebody must have told you. These guys don't want to talk to me. These guys don't want to talk to me. What have they told you out there about this paper? They must have told you that this is the very best in CPA. True or false? So online students, they are telling me that this paper, from what they have heard, let me see here. It's a bitter sweet paper. Great. The paper is very, very hard. No. You'll pass, okay? Really paper? No, no, no. Those are now the evil people. Yeah. because the paper, to tell you the truth, this is the best paper in CPA. Best paper in CPA, the best. Yeah. So then I'm reading this paper number 15, Advanced Financial Management paper. From the beginning, unit description. This paper is intended to equip the candidate with knowledge, skills, and attitudes that will enable him or her to apply advanced financial management techniques and methods in a practical work environment in both private and public sectors. Learning outcomes. Number one, you should be able, a candidate who passes this paper should be able to make advanced capital budgeting decisions and make appropriate capital structure decisions for an organization. They should be able to evaluate portfolios and apply the capital asset pricing model and other multi-factor models in financial decision making. They should be able to apply the relevant models and skills in predicting corporate failure. They should be able to apply derivatives in financial risk management, and they should be able to evaluate mergers and acquisitions. Then undertake corporate restructuring and reorganization. Apply valuation techniques in real estate finance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen and listen to me very well. If, for example, today you are to be employed by Safaricom as a finance manager, what do you think will be some of your daily duties? When you go there every other morning, what in this case here, you as a finance manager, will you be doing? Let's start from there for you to be able to understand this paper very well. So please, the online students, I expect you to do some write-ups there. Yeah, thanks, Julius. So as a finance manager, number one, I need to do project appraisals. Project appraisals. There is no way these people will be going to invest in a project without getting my input on those projects. So under project appraisals, I'll be doing what we call capital budgeting. Capital budget, don't write, I'll give you all the notes. Capital budgeting, I'll tell you when to write. Today we are not writing anything. Today is about knowing each other. So capital budgeting. So under capital, why are we budgeting this capital? Because capital has never been enough. You could be having like 10 million Kenya shillings, for example, in your bank account. But you see the needs, the dreams that you have will be worth more than the 10 million. God will never allow you to rest. So then what will happen, ladies and gentlemen, if you have this, for example, 10 million Kenya shillings, all right, then in your dreams, you would want to do like a couple of, say, 3 or even 4 projects. Project A, in this case here, for example, could be worth 5 million. Project B, 6 million. Project C, for example, 3 million. So then in this case here, there is no way you'll be able to afford all the projects. Why? Because you can see that these projects here need a total of how much? 14. And how much do you have? If you go to a supermarket today, you've in this case here carried so many products in this particular what here trolley. So you're walking to payment section. So that lady takes that trolley, gets things, offloads them, punches them, and then you realize the money needed is 30,000. But what you have in your M-Pesa and the cash, is for example 18,000. So it means that you must return some goods, isn't it? Yeah, you must return them. The same case with this capital budgeting. You don't have enough money. So you must be able to say, hey, as a finance manager, I'm doing capital budgeting. I'm doing project appraisal. And some of the methods we shall be using to do this project appraisal are like the net present value, profitability index, all those methods, payback period. And by the way, did you guys do financial management at the intermediate level? How about you, sister? You did. How about online students? Is there any online ninja who was exempted from financial management? We did. We have one ninja called Maslin, who unfortunately during their time, they were being exempted. Not a problem. You were exempted, of course, Mercy, because you did the course in some other place like university. So you'll not be disadvantaged at all. And after all, I'll be repeating everything. Otherwise, the things that I've spoken about, like NPV, these are those things that we are quite aware about. So then you shall be able to use those models to do what here to evaluate the projects, and then you rank them. Now you pass the paper to the board. So to look at everything that is available, and then they help us to pick now the projects. So we'll rank them, NPB. So then on a daily basis, depending on what I want to do, I will be involved in a project appraisal. Like Safaricom the other day, they were going to Ethiopia to establish, in this case here, a new map. A finance manager will be involved. And the role of the finance manager will be two things there. Number one, he will be able to look at the cash flows to be gotten from, discount them, and see the initial outlay. How much are we pumping in? Give us what we call net present value. If he says the net present value is negative, then the can. So that is duty number one. Duty number two, it will be very, very important for us to know, ladies and gentlemen, that this particular finance manager will be involved in valuation of businesses, valuation of projects. So he'll be the one to this particular finance manager, he'll be able to forecast and see how much cash flows are we getting, discount them, and then they give us the present value. So the finance manager will be involved in this. Number three, this finance manager must also be involved in terms of what we call cost of capital decisions. So cost of capital decisions is, how do we finance these projects? There are many ways of financing our projects. Financing our projects, if, for example, you want to build a big house like this one, you'll be very lucky if you have your equity, your own money 100%. You can't be having your own money 100%. What will happen? Maybe the house is worth 100 million and perhaps you have 30 million. So then the equity will be 30 million. What happens to the 70 million you borrow? So whenever we talk of financing decisions, we are looking at a mixture between what your debt and equity. So you have to advise. Let me ask you a question. Now that you told me that you're experts, you've already done financial management down there, and here you'll be mastering, right? The second chance of doing financial management. Between debt and equity, which one is a better source of finance? You as a finance manager today, what will you advise the firm to go for? Do you advise the firm to go for more of debt, or do you advise this firm to go for more of equity? Debt or equity? Patapote, how about these online guys? Lois, she's saying equity. Matthew, depends on cost. Julius, debt. Due to leverage, yes. Debt is always advantageous because debt, the return that you pay for debt is known as interest. And the interest is tax allowable. The interest, it will go to the income statement to reduce the revenue, to reduce the profit. Then you benefit. So you'll be able to get what we call a debt tax advantage. That is why most organizations today, they are being told in this case here to leverage. Leverage means what here? I mean, increasing the value of your business. You increase the value of your business by going for what here? For debt. Because if you put in your equity, the equity owners, at the end of the year, should we make a profit, we normally give them a return for the equity they gave us. And that return is known as what? A dividend? Dividends is never allowed for tax. So you can't get any leverage. So in this case, the one that will be able to give you a leverage, which is an advantage, it will be a debt because interest is tax allowable. Those are the kind of decisions that will be helping these organizations to make when you are a finance manager. But again, remember, even if debt is so nice, you can't just go there telling people that now let's borrow. Let's, in this case here, do debt 100%. Debt is good, but at some level, it will choke the company. It's very easy for this company, in this case here, to be wound up if they're really stacking debt after another. Debts have helped even countries. But if you look at, for example, these African countries, the way we are on a spree to borrow so much, automatically it's very easy for us to become what here, bankrupt. So it will be about optimality. You as a finance manager, you have to look at this debt. Up to what level can we really be able to sustain optimally? And then you tell them debt, maybe 70%, equity, 30%. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm a finance manager, after I've done these great roles, at the end of the day, if I'm really, really a good finance manager that knows what is expected of me, and my directors are able to listen to me, we have what we call the tone at the top. We have what we call the tone at the top. And for us to understand this tone at the top, I would want you guys to put on your cameras. Fortunately for you, I can see you. I would want like 3 people or 4 people to put on their cameras. I want us to do some exercise here. Yeah, I want us to do some exercise here. So remember, it's not a beauty contest. So don't fear putting on your camera the way you are. You're my daughters. You're my sons. I love you the way you are. And I would want to see your faces today. I would want to see your faces today. I can't see even a single person who has put on their camera. We must make this subject practical. We must make this subject practical. Yeah, thank you so much, Julius. I like that. But I haven't yet seen anybody putting on their cameras. Or we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Not even a single person putting on their cameras out of 31 students. Not even a single person. How comes? For sure, we shall overcome. Ah, great. Then even if your cameras are off, I want you guys to do me a favor. Can you kindly touch your chin? Please touch your chin. Please touch your chin. Please touch your chin. You see, I'm so sure all of you know that this is all the chin. The chin is this one. This is the chin. But how comes when I said you touch your chin, you guys went here? It's because here, I'm your leader. I'm your manager here, right? And as a manager, because I did something wrong and told you this is the chin, everybody, even the ninjas now here who are laughing now, I'm so sure that is what you did. I'm so sure that is what you did. So if, for example, you are a very, very good finance manager, but the leaders at the top, the directors are thieves, they are corrupt, then you'll not be able to go far away with your advice. Because the tone at the top, the management at the top really matters a lot. If they're straightforward, then they'll be able to embed a culture of honesty in an organization. So the tone at the top. So then if, for example, the tone at the top is the correct one, and you have been able, ladies and gentlemen, to advise these people very well, what will happen is that this organization will get itself into profitability. When it makes profits, what do you do as a finance manager? You must consider now giving the equity owners a return, dividends. So we have gotten dividends of 100. Do we give out the entire 100 as dividends? That will be wrong. As a good finance manager, I must try as much as possible to retain maximally. I must retain. So good finance managers, they retain up to a quarter. Yeah, 25%. So you pay them like 75. And if you're a very, very good bargainer, you can retain even 50% because you're giving these people hope. You're telling these people that, hey, this is a bad at hand. Let's use this money here to grow our business so that in the future you'll become even more richer. But now that depends on your bargaining power. So I'm bringing a very good aspect of another role of a finance manager is normally involved in what we call dividend policy. Dividends policy is will be among the people who will be able to sit down and say, this time round, we had this as an earnings per share and you're going to pay this much. So dividends policy. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, this finance manager will be involved in what we call investment decisions. He'll be involved in what we call investment, what here? Investment decisions. Investment decisions. You see, like when you retire, you will get like 20 million lump sum. And you're getting this 20 million lump sum depending on your employer and depending on how you understood investments, depending on how you are financially literate. So for example, we have what we call NSSF tier 1, tier 2. So tier 2, of course, if you're financially literate, you talk to your employer to take tier 2, for example, to Britain or any other organization, right? Great. So that by the time you retire, you get 20 million. So when you are getting this 20 million, most of us, we will not be able to know how to run the ball with this money. This money may become very heavy for most of us. That is the time when you get your mwalimu on the way, you say, high five mwalimu, I now have money, have 1 million Kenya shillings. Within no time, you have nothing left. And that is why we normally tell people to invest in portfolios. You must have heard, when I was reading this course outline, we said a student who passes this paper should be very good in terms of portfolio management. A portfolio is a bundle of assets. We are told, and I've seen people making mistakes. They have gotten, in this case here, this 20 million, and then they go and invest the whole of this amount in real estate. They invest this amount in real estate. They go and, for example, put this into, it's quite small money nowadays. This can't give you 4 floors. But assuming that it was able to give you a 4 floor full of apartments, right? Assuming nowadays this cannot give you, there is bad inflation. So you go and build just one flat, high rise, 4 floors. And after you've done that, unfortunately, you know, this Kenya, I mean, there's so many bad things happening. So you get, in this case here, people coming with that tractor. It does like this. You know that tractor, have you ever seen it? And then they demolish the entire house. You'll collapse. Yeah, you'll get a stroke. Why? Because you are not wise. Even our old mamas told us that we shall never put all our eggs in one basket. If this person, for example, had done what we call portfolio assets management, he would have divided this money, say, into 3. The first, say, like 10 million, real estate is good. Put maybe 10 million to real estate. Some other monies, these are emergency monies, put them under what you call money market fund. Some other monies, put them into government bonds. And if you're left with, say, 1 million shillings, for you to get this kind of money, you're like Dr. Aura here. Chances are you are not prioritizing your family. You are very busy at work. So now you can take 1 million, let's say this 1 million for sure. I want, in this case, here to impress my family at the old age. Take them even to Dubai. Perhaps when they come with that thing, you'll be left with some experiences from Dubai, because that cannot be stolen away from you. So in this case, you spread your risk maximally. And as a finance manager, you are being told, if, for example, you're working for EABL, there will be lots of wealth being created, and you are being told that you shall advise these people to spread their risks. Spread your risks. That's investments policy. Is there anybody who has a question? Yeah, cash management, treasury. I like that. Cash is king. Great. Anybody who has a question? Up to there, are we together? Great. Yes, are we together really? The online ninjas, are we together really? Day 1, we are basically internet problem. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Great. So then we go to the next on the course outline. Next agenda on the course outline. Now we are looking at the content. Basically, I've been able to cover the learning outcomes. So content, what do we have here? The first one is advanced capital budgeting. And the capital budgeting, you'll be able to see NPVs, blah, blah, blah. So many things. All right. We go to content. The portfolio management, we shall be able to see what a portfolio is. And already I've been able to introduce what portfolio is. A portfolio is a collection of investments. Why do we have a collection of investments? It's because we want to minimize what are risk. Then we go to number 3, my good students. What do we have as number 3? Number 3 is advanced financing decisions. The cost of what? Your cost of capital. Cost of capital. And of course, we would always want to be minimizers of cost of capital. WACC shall be minimized. I'll be able to teach you how to do that. Then we have number 4. I don't know whether we are together. Number 4 is all about mergers and what here? Acquisitions, yes. Now, what is the difference between a merger and an acquisition. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you hear of the word a merger means the coming of together of two or more entities to form one big entity. Yeah, whenever you have like farm A and the farm B, they decide to merge. Then in this case, we shall be able to get both of them disappearing, and then we get C. That's a merger. Yeah, and then we have in this case here A plus B. How about if it is A taking over B? If A takes over B, then B disappears alone. And then at the end of the day, we get what we call what here? A. So then this means that this is an acquisition. This is an acquisition. In a merger, the two entities that are merging shall disappear permanently. Could you kindly give me examples of companies that you guys know of in Kenya here that merged and then they disappeared? And then we had a new organization. I know one. Yeah. CBA, Commercial Bank of Africa, and which one? NIC. So in this case here, we had CBA plus NIC coming together. Both of them went to the Register of Companies and they were struck off. And then they gave us what we call NCBA. That's a merger. How about an acquisition? Yes, I know an acquisition. I know one. Assuming we have in this case here two. Now, let me first of all ask you a question. If, for example, a cat and a rat, if these two were to come together, will this be an acquisition or a merger? A rat, when they come together. Will this be an acquisition or a merger? Yeah, that's telling me that this is a merger. How about the online students? Yeah, Maslin, they're telling me it's merger, right? Are you sure? If cat and rat, because I know, ladies and gentlemen, when both of them come together, one must die. You know, in an acquisition, A is taking over B. B is the one that is dying. I believe if cat and rat, if you have to put them in one room here, one must lose their lives. So it's being swallowed, isn't it? Because again, remember in acquisition, the remaining farm must keep on becoming bigger and bigger. In Kenya here, are you able to give me an example of a company that keeps on acquiring others that you know of? Any company that you know of that is really acquiring other smaller companies? Brookside, Uhuru Kenyatta's milk company. It has really acquired very many of these small milk farms, isn't it? So it acquires them, what happens? They disappear. So Brookside, like in East Africa, I'm so sure this will be the biggest milk company in East Africa. You can even talk of East Africa and what here? Yeah, East and Central Africa. It must be the biggest, simply because of what here? Acquisition. So what have you learned about acquisition? Under acquisition, the farm that is being taken over, the farm that is being acquired, ladies and gentlemen, disappears, and then the other farm becomes what here? Maduong. Big. So somebody in this case here is raising something here. Superloaf Company acquired, are you sure? KIM. This is news to me. I need to also then to do more research. And Superloaf Company acquired Savannah Cement. That would be a very good case of a conglomerate. Yeah, farms which are in different industries. Yamkate inanunua cement. That would be very good. There's a joke up here that I need to see where people are telling students, another student that they are overthinking. I need to see this. Yeah, that UDA has been acquiring other smaller parties. Is it true? Is that true? UDA has been acquiring other smaller parties. Like they acquired yeah. This one from Western Kenya, right? The Mudavadis, yeah, that's a very good example of what here? Acquisitions here. Very good, yeah. Because an acquisition, the farm acquiring others becomes bigger as the other farms that are being acquired are extinguished. They disappear permanently. Great. So then when we go out there now, we should be able to know how to differentiate between a merger and an acquisition. But before we give you clean green tick, How about marriage in the African context? Will that be a merger or an acquisition? Marriage in African context. Marriage in African context. Will it be a merger or an acquisition? Merger, right? Yeah, when I was out there, I would have said out there, like in Europe, for sure marriage is a merger. But locally in Africa, I tend to disagree with you 100%. Assuming in this case, I work with my wife here in town. We leave work together at 5 p.m. We reach home. Of course, I'll be able to take my poof there, put my legs over there, and watch KTN throughout. Will my wife do exactly something similar to me? This great lady has to move around. Yeah. So I don't think so. We would want it to be a merger, but for now, as things stand, this is an acquisition. That is why we are paying even the dowry, isn't it? So it cannot be a merger. The online ninjas are saying all of them, it's a merger. It is an acquisition. Let's put things the way they are. This is an acquisition. However, the optimal thing, when the man, you know, there are so many things. Like, for example, you'll get yourself, in this case here, changing your ID or something. Like when we say, for example, like people to leave their homes. A man shall leave their home. A lady, in most cases, who leaves their home? Yeah, you'll go and join the other family there. Because if it was, I mean, equal, then this person should have left their home, they meet at the middle, which will be. So you can't convince me. This is an acquisition. This is an acquisition. Although I know ideally it should be a merger, but African context, this is purely an acquisition. So after mergers, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be able to go straight away to the next topic there, which is topic number 5, which is corporate restructuring and what year reorganization. What is happening in our economy today? As an auditor, I can tell you things are not very, very good. Every other time, we are seeing companies that are really going under. Many, many companies. Some time back here, we used to have 𝗕𝗲𝘀𝗃𝗃. 𝗕𝗲𝘃𝗃, they used to tell us that if you need it, yeah, do you remember that slogan? Yeah, but if today, if for example, there is any store, 𝗕𝗲𝘃𝗃 store, that is still standing, if you go to their branch, if it is still there, do you think you'll get whatever you want? No. Even Uchumi supermarket used to be a big thing. It's no longer there. I mean, we have other great farms that used to be big, but they're no longer with us. CMC, for those of us who are a bit old, they will tell you CMC before their saga, this really used to be a company so many people looked forward to working in. Look at Mumias, a giant in the Western region. As we speak today, where is it? On its knees. So farms are really struggling, and many farms, not few, but many farms. But you see, as a finance manager, you are not supposed to be the mortician who is going to stand there and supervise the burial of these organizations. No. As a finance manager, you must talk about restructuring. It's not doing very well, but how do we change status? How do we flip the coin to ensure that we get to a liquid position? So that is really a very important topic. It's known as what here? Restructuring and reorganization. So si ati mambo ikiwa ambayo unaanza kukimbia. No, as a finance manager, we must be able to hold the bull by its horns and ensure that this bull is not moving up and about, but moving forward. Because at the end of the day, we would want to maximize shareholders' wealth. Very great subject. Yeah, like even Tasky, somebody is telling me, yeah, I hope I need to do data analytics. How do I go about it, Philip? That's a different subject. It's an exit serious paper. Is it possible you call our office line 0793? I'll type here 0793 555 000, like that. Thank you. Those guys will guide you accordingly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we go to financial risk management. Ladies and gentlemen, life is very risky. There are many, many risks that are beckoning all of us day and night. And we must always endeavor to protect ourselves against those risks. So for example, if you are living in Kajiado, Kajiado is a county known for wild animals. So you need to know how to protect yourself. For example, by putting a fence. So you ring fence yourself. That is a way of managing some risk. For those of you who are dealing with importation and exportation, you're dealing with dollars, you're dealing with foreign currencies. Like in advanced financial management, we shall be dealing with foreign currencies. So you see, foreign currencies, when the dollar is at 160 and you have $1 million, you'll get 160 million. When the dollar goes down to 139, you get 139 million. You can easily lose lots of money. You can easily make losses. Then we'll be teaching you how do you get to manage a finance manager, financial risk management. Like there is a time, Kenya, oh, my internet, we shall overcome. So the online, are you able to hear me now? The online students, are you able to hear Mwalimu? The online students, are you able to hear Mwalimu? We shall overcome. We are fixing our internet from tomorrow. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, look at Kenya Airways. At that time, was making serious losses because of what here? Fuel prices. And then they bought what we call a fuel derivative. Yeah, this time round, they have 12 billion. If you look at their financial statements, most of that loss is attributed to foreign exchange losses because of their Nigeria route. Yeah, they went there and accepted Nigerians to pay in Naira. And now there are no dollars in Nigeria. They can't repatriate. They can't get. They're making serious losses. And that is why we want to train strong finance managers who will be able to appreciate this concept of risk management. So risk management is key. We must always think about risk management. For example, I know we must be taking this nice delicacy outside here known as chips waru. Mnazijua? Ina cost pesa ngapi packet moja average chips? Huh? 140, are you sure? Ilifika 140 lini? 100%. Sio mia? Hebu nione wanafunzi wa online wanasemaje. Chips ni 140, mimi nafikiri ni 100. Wanafunzi wa online wanasema ngapi? Ngoja nione wanasema ngapi wanafunzi wa online. Oh, hiyo ni mwitu. Haya, hata tuseme 140. Now, hizi chips, unatumia nini kutengeneza chips? Ni viazi, potatoes. What do you know about the price of potatoes? Is it constant? Like, you see, if it's 140, it changes every morning. So you see, if you're a hotelier, then you must think like, how do I manage the risk in terms of the potato prices changing every other day? So do I go and approach a farmer? I agree with this farmer to plant these potatoes, and then I'll be able to buy from this farmer at some agreed price. Those are the kind of things I'll be teaching you here. And that's why I'm very, very convinced that this is the best subject in CPA. Best subject in CPA. Oh, 95 bob, then tomato sauce 5 bob. Or there's some places, or come a KFC. Oh, like where do we have them being sold at 350? No more restaurant. Fast food 140. Great. Then we go to number 7. Number 7 and number 8. Number 7, we have international financial management. And then number 8, we have real estate. So in this case here, we start with international financial management. As I told you, we shall be dealing with, unlike the intermediate level financial management, here in the advanced level, we shall be dealing with guys who fly out. Yeah, guys who fly out often. If you fly out often, you'll always get yourself with some funny, like now today, I have some funny notes here. You can see the notes that I have here. You may think I'm a millionaire. But this is like 600 bob. These are Tanzania shillings, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Remember, one Kenya shilling is 20 bob. So 30,000 divided by 20 is how much? 30,000 divided by 20. So this is like nothing. So when you are making those exchanges, there are chances that you're going to make foreign exchange losses. The question will be, how do we mitigate that risk? How do we change that risk to become a fortune to us? So we shall be looking at international financial management. In international financial management, we also have what we call the Bretton Woods institutions, IMF. We have in this case here, World Bank. We have the African, for example, Development Bank. And you'll always see them asking you about the roles of World Bank. Roles of World Bank. It's a bank just like any other bank. They give loans. They give, in this case here, advice. etc. We'll be able to look at that later. And then we have what we call real estate management. Topic number 8 is real estate management, real estate finance. So when you talk of real estate, we are looking at immovable property. Kama yuko na nyumba mabati, for example, kwa land, which is normal in this life, but when people come to do valuation, for example, from the bank, they'll tell you that this is not real estate. This is not a property because property must be permanently fixed on your land. So you're looking at permanent houses or homes and the land itself. That's what we call real estate. And this real estate, of course, we have residential properties, we have commercial properties. Then how do we do valuation? So you're going to study, like, for example, they asked us, this other semester, just the other semester, what are the key features that you need for you to be able to get a mortgage in Kenya? For you to get a mortgage in Kenya, what do you need? What are the requirements? For you to be given a pay slip, yes. Is it one only? 1 month's pay slip? 2? 6 months, yes. I love that. 6 months. Any other requirement for you to get a mortgage in Kenya? The online students, you guys today are not talking to me so much. You need guarantor? No, not for mortgage, because your collateral will, yes. Online guys, today you guys have let me down. Yeah, collateral must be there. That's a requirement. You need a deposit because you can't just get, very few companies will be able to stand in for you to get 100%. Most of these banks would want you to put like 10% or 20%, isn't it? Yeah, you need CRB status. And that is why when you are here doing finance and you have messed your CRB, the CRB, it's very, very wrong. You know, you get people who will go and take like 500 shillings from, how do we call this thing, from government? Not from government. That is the most abused. Here government ya Ruto walisema unapea hustler fund. And then you say now you're not paying. When that thing goes to CRB, it hits you negatively, it will be very, very hard for you to get yourself out of there. And you'll not be able to get loans outside here. So it will be very, very important for you to ensure that you have a good CRB status here. All right. So of course, source of income, even if you have a pay slip, these guys would want to see whether that income that you have, is it able to finance the mortgage and still you're left with something like a third to be eating. Yeah, because if you don't have something to eat, then even you looking for this money to pay them back their mortgage, will it be a problem? Will be a problem. So this is a great topic here. Will be a great. Somebody is saying that I will never pay that one. You guys, you'll never pay your hustler fund. Why? And you borrowed. How about your integrity, my friend Lincoln? You as an accountant now. And then we have contemporary issues and emerging trends. We'll be able to teach you about cryptocurrency, blockchain technology. We have cloud funding, digitization, like this cloud funding, looking for money online from many people, like what we call 𝗕𝗲𝘀𝗻𝗀. Have you seen how 𝗕𝗲𝗀𝗲𝗲 works? The one that Eric Omondi uses here often. Yeah, to be able to raise funds for people who are sick. And we have other platforms, where you use, in this case here, an online platform to get so much money from a big crowd. Yeah, where people are raising like 10 bob, 20 bob, like that. So Sadaka, I use go crowdfunding. Yeah, because you see, there's no platform. There must be a platform where you do a formula appeal, like through our website. You do a formula appeal, put photos there of your business, and then people will be able to do what you to finance that. And then you'll be able to see that later on, that this actually it's crowdfunding. We have crowdfunding, which are donation-based. People know from the word go that as we give this money, we shall never expect anything in return. So it's a donation crowdfunding. We have an equity crowdfunding. Equity crowdfunding, the funders expect that once you pick up as a company, you will give them shares. Yeah, very, very important for us to know that. And we shall be able to look at that in more details. So, and this being our day number 1, that is it. So in our second class, and I will be able to give you a timetable, I'll be able to now straight away get into topic number 1. How do we study at RCM? Like now, topic number 1 has a lot of discounting. So discounting tonight, I will be able to send you a very short video talking about discounting. How do you discount cash flows? So please, before I come to class, I expect all of you to have watched that 30 minutes video. Yeah, before we meet. Because if you did your financial management a long time ago, I'm giving you an opportunity to simply remind yourselves, so that when I come here, I'll be able to do like a brush through the discounting, and then I get to do a past paper quiz. That's how we help each other. Remember, we have only 3 months. These are short semester. So when the semester is short, we must also come up with creative ways of finishing the syllabus to ensure that all our students get to pass. For the online students who are willing to join us, please don't hesitate calling our number. Please get in touch, and we shall be able to pass these papers one term. Nasile political. No, we don't support politics. Otherwise, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye. The topics that must be set, I don't want us to go that way, Marceline. For now, we are covering the whole syllabus. But of course, after we cover the whole syllabus, I'll be able to tell you, hey, if you have been very busy at your workplace, there are those topics that you must know. So for now, forgive me, I'll not answer that. When will your exams be released? On the 12th of September. About a week and so from today, 12th of September. Bye, ninjas. See you later. See you another time. Nancy is asking whether we'll be having, when we'll be having AFM. So remember this time around, because we have acquired this college at Commonwealth House, physical. Now we are going to give you so many options. We are going to be having 5 a.m. classes as usual. There'll be the 6 a.m. classes. There'll be the daytime classes. There'll be the 6 p.m., 6 to 8. And then, of course, we have our normal 8 to 10. So you'll be spoiled for choice. So you choose the program that works for you best. We also have the weekend classes. And all these classes will be recorded. And the recording shared with you in the learning management system. Otherwise, that bye-bye now should be the last one. Yeah, the last bye for today, isn't it?